Welcome to today's lecture. Today we will be studying about the abdominal aorta. The abdominal aorta is around 10 to 12.5 centimeters long and 2 centimeters in breadth. So it begins as a continuation of the descending thoracic aorta at the aortic opening of the diaphragm. It lies opposite to the lower border of T12 vertebra. It begins in the midline and it runs downwards and slightly to the left to lie over the lumbar vertebra. So in this picture what you can see, so this entire thing is the diaphragm. So this is the aortic opening of the diaphragm. This is the abdominal aorta. So above this opening you will have the descending thoracic aorta. So in this picture you can see it is arising at the lower border of T12 vertebra. Then you can see this length is 10 to 12.5 centimeters and the breadth is around 2 centimeters. Then you can see it as it goes downwards. First it is present in the midline, then as it goes downwards it runs slightly towards the left. Then it ends in front of the L4 vertebra, that is about 1.25 centimeters to the left of the median plane. Then it is dividing into right as well as left common iliac arteries. In this picture what you can see, this entire thing is the abdominal aorta. So here you are having celiac trunk, superior mesenteric artery, inferior mesenteric artery, and these nerves what is present here, they are called the celiac plexus. And you can see on both sides, that is in the left side and in the right side, there is a ganglion, that is called the celiac ganglion. So this picture you can just remember. So these ganglions in the coming slide we will see when we study the other relations. Now presently we will study the anterior relations. That is when you see the abdominal aorta, the structures what is present in front of it. So anteriorly from above downwards, the abdominal aorta is related to the following structures. So first is origin of the celiac artery. Then second is celiac plexus of nerves. You can see these nerves which is surrounding this artery. Then you are having origin of superior mesenteric artery. Then the other relations we will just see in the next slide. So in this slide what you can see, so this is the inferior vena cava, this is the abdominal aorta, then this is the pancreas, then this is the kidney, left suprarenal gland, this is the spleen. So the anterior relations what you saw, so one was the celiac artery, that is the celiac trunk, then the celiac plexus of nerves, then the superior mesenteric artery. Apart from that, other anterior relations what you see here are, one is the body of the pancreas, then you are having the splenic vein, then the left renal vein. So in this picture you can see clearly this is the inferior vena cava, this is the abdominal aorta. So anterior other relations what you are seeing here is the splenic vein, then the left renal vein. So apart from that, you will see the origin of inferior mesenteric artery, then the third or the horizontal part of duodenum. So if you see, this is the stomach, this is the pylorus end of stomach, this is first part of duodenum, second part, third part, whereas this is the fourth part. So the third horizontal part of duodenum is also anterior to the abdominal aorta, and you will also have the root of mesentery. Now coming to the posterior relations. So posteriorly you will have the bodies of upper 4 lumbar vertebra and also corresponding intervertebral disc. Then also you will have the anterior longitudinal ligament which will be attached to the body of the vertebra. Then you will have the origin of 4 pairs of lumbar arteries and median sacral artery. So that in the coming slides you will see. Then the third and fourth left lumbar veins and also the left psoas major muscle. So now coming to the relations in the right side. So this is the right side, this is the left side. So on right side you are mainly having the inferior vena cava. Then in the upper part you are having the cisterna chyli, thoracic duct, azygous vein, right crus of diaphragm and right celiac ganglion. So those structures in this picture you are not able to see. Now coming to the relations in the left side, you are having the left crus of the diaphragm, then you are having the pancreas, then the fourth part of duodenum or else the duodenojejunal flexure. Then you are having the left sympathetic trunk, left celiac ganglion. Then also you will be having inferior mesenteric artery with its ascending and descending branches. Now coming to the branches of abdominal aorta, you are having the ventral branches, dorsal branches, lateral branches and terminal branches. All the ventral branches supply the gut. They are the unpaired arteries. From above downwards, the ventral branches are: first is celiac trunk, second is superior mesenteric artery, third is inferior mesenteric artery. So in this slide you can see from here the celiac artery will arise. So this celiac trunk, which is the artery of the foregut, arises opposite to the lower border of T12 vertebra. So in this picture you can see this is the pancreas. Here the celiac trunk is giving rise to three arteries, that is three branches. So one is the left gastric artery, second is the common hepatic artery and third is the splenic artery. So the next ventral branch is the superior mesenteric artery. So this artery is the artery of midgut which arises opposite to the lower border of L1 vertebra. The superior mesenteric artery gives rise to: first is inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery, second is middle colic artery, right colic artery, ileocolic artery and 12 to 15 jejunal and ileal branches. The superior mesenteric artery, because it is the artery of midgut, it supplies the structures which are derived from the midgut. So that is below the opening of the bile duct, in the second part of duodenum, below the opening of bile duct, then you are having the jejunum, ileum, cecum, ascending colon, right 2/3 of transverse colon. So the artery is what you can see. So this is the superior mesenteric artery. The artery is what you are having here. So its branches. First is inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery. Then this is the middle colic artery. This is right colic artery. This is ileocolic artery. Then you are having many jejunal as well as ileal branches. That is around 12 to 15 jejunal and ileal branches. The inferior mesenteric artery is the artery of the hindgut which arises at the level of L3 vertebra. The inferior mesenteric artery gives rise to left colic artery, sigmoidal arteries and it continues as the superior rectal artery. So in this diagram what you can see, inferior mesenteric artery, because it is the artery of hindgut, it supplies the structures derived from the hindgut. So they are the left 1/3 of transverse colon, then descending colon, sigmoid colon, rectum. So here what you are seeing, so this is the inferior mesenteric artery. So the branches are: first is the left colic artery, then here you are having few sigmoidal arteries, then the continuation of it is forming the superior rectal artery. Now coming to the lateral branches, the lateral branches are the paired arteries. and from above downwards they are: first is inferior phrenic artery, second is middle suprarenal artery, third is renal artery, and fourth is the gonadal artery, that is the testicular artery in males and the ovarian artery in females. So in this picture what you can see, so this is the abdominal aorta, these are the kidneys, this is the suprarenal gland, here you are having the celiac trunk. So above this what you are having here, so this is the inferior phrenic artery. So these are the first branches of the abdominal aorta. They arise just above the celiac trunk. So this is the celiac trunk, they are arising just above the celiac trunk and they supply the diaphragm. They also gives off the superior suprarenal artery. So this is the superior suprarenal artery which is given from the inferior phrenic artery. Now coming to the second lateral branch, that is the middle suprarenal artery. So this middle suprarenal artery, they arise opposite to the origin of superior mesenteric artery. So each artery passes laterally and slightly upwards over the corresponding crus of the diaphragm to supply the suprarenal gland. Now coming to the third lateral branch, that is the renal artery. So they are large paired arteries which arise just below the level of origin of superior mesenteric artery. So you can see this is the celiac trunk, this is the superior mesenteric artery, this is the renal artery. So the renal artery will lie at the level of upper part of L2 vertebra. Each renal artery gives off an inferior suprarenal artery which supplies the suprarenal gland and also branches to the urethra, and then they are distributed to the kidney. So now in this picture the ventral branches we studied, that was the celiac trunk, then the superior mesenteric artery, then the inferior mesenteric artery. Then the four lateral branches, in that we studied the inferior phrenic artery, middle suprarenal artery, then the renal artery. Then the fourth lateral branch is the gonadal artery, what you are seeing here. So these gonadal arteries, they are long slender vessels which arises a little below the origin of renal arteries. The testicular artery terminates by dividing into branches that supply the testis and epididymis in males. The ovarian artery supplies the ovary, uterine tube and terminates by anastomosing with the uterine artery. Coming to the dorsal branches, they are: first is they are having four pairs of lumbar arteries, and second is median sacral artery. So in this picture what you can see, all these are the lumbar arteries. So these lumbar arteries, they are four pairs, whereas in this picture you are not able to see four pairs, but you will be having the four pairs of lumbar arteries. They arise from the aorta opposite to the bodies of the upper four lumbar vertebra. Then now what you're seeing here, so this is called the median sacral artery. So this sacral artery, it arises from the back of the abdominal aorta just before the aortic bifurcation. So it represents the continuation of the primitive dorsal aorta. So it runs downwards to end in front of the coccyx to supply the rectum and anastomoses with the iliolumbar and the lateral sacral arteries. Coming to the terminal branches, we are having a pair of common iliac arteries. So in this picture you can see the terminal branches of the abdominal aorta, that is a pair of the common iliac artery. So they begin in front of the body of L4 vertebra, about 1.25 centimeters to the left of the median plane. Each common iliac artery, they terminate in front of the sacroiliac joint by dividing into external iliac artery and the internal iliac artery. Few other things what you are supposed to know apart from this branches from the abdominal aorta. So in abdominal aorta, you saw that the inferior phrenic artery was the first branch which was arising from it. So what about if there is an inferior phrenic artery, there has to be superior. So the superior phrenic artery will be a branch from descending thoracic aorta. So another thing what you are supposed to know that this is the suprarenal gland which is supplied by the superior suprarenal artery, then it is supplied by the middle suprarenal artery as well as the inferior suprarenal artery. So the superior suprarenal artery was a branch from the inferior phrenic artery. Then the middle suprarenal artery was a direct branch from the abdominal aorta, whereas the inferior suprarenal artery was a branch from the renal artery. Coming to clinical importance, that is, first is pulsations of the abdominal aorta. The abdominal aorta pulsations can be felt in the median plane at the level of L4 vertebra on the anterior abdominal wall. This can be felt in children and in thin-built adults. Second is aortic aneurysm, so which means that dilatation of the aorta. This is usually seen below the origin of the renal artery. It is seen in elderly males. Most common cause is atherosclerosis, which weakens the aortic wall. Third is abdominal aortic stent grafts are done to prevent the rupture of aorta, which is caused due to aortic aneurysm. Thank you for watching.